Hello everyone, welcome to today's Quick Learn, where we'll be covering how to use the batch reporting option within the software. Now, Quick Learns are a lot shorter than our usual sessions. They are around 20 minutes long, which includes a between 10 to 15 minutes demonstration, but it will have booked 30 minutes out in your calendar for if you have any questions outstanding at the end. Now we are going to start the session at 5 past, so if you want to go grab yourself a coffee before we do so, feel free to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop myself back on mute in the meantime. Just whilst we're waiting for others to join the session, what I'm going to do is I am just going to go through a bit of housekeeping on these sessions. So if you are new to joining us on webinars or are a regular attendee, just to make you aware of how the webinar will work. So your microphone will be automatically muted during the session. If you do have any questions, please do pop them into the questions panel down the right hand side there. You will see the little option that looks like a speech bubble with the question mark in the middle, and that's where we will be able to answer the questions for you, either me or Jackie or Michael. One more thing before I do move on. There is no handout for the session, as this is mainly demonstration. However, you will find plenty of resources on our help centre regarding today's topic if you did want to check that out after the session. Now, I've just got another minute or so. So if you want to, like I say, if you've just joined us, you can go and quickly grab yourself a coffee, or if you want to grab a piece of paper and a pen to make some notes for throughout the session. But just a reminder, you will receive a link in an email after the session has ended to this recording for you to revisit as well. But like I say, just while we're waiting, I'm just going to pop myself back on mute until 5 past. Okay, what we'll do now is we'll get started with the session. So if you just joined us, we're going to be covering the batch reporting option within the Sage 50 Accounts software. So what we're going to be looking at on this session is we're going to start by introducing the batch reporting option, which leads into the demonstration on how to create new batch reports, edit or delete existing ones, and then how to run batch reports as well. I will then come back and then summarise the session by discussing upcoming webinars in the next couple of weeks. Now, please do keep your questions coming throughout the session, so either me, Jackie or Michael can pick this up. We do have quite a lot of you on the session today, so we've got about 100 of you on, so do bear with us with answering those questions throughout, but we won't be ending the session until 2:30 on the dot, so there will be time after the demonstration has ended to still ask your questions. Okay, so we'll start with introducing. So a batch report is a collection of individual reports that can be viewed, printed, emailed, or exported together. You will find this option by going to Tools along the top within your software and then into Batch Reporting. Now this option is only available on Standard or Professional. It gives you the ability to regularly produce the same reports. It saves you time by being able to run a group of reports in one go, rather than having to navigate through various modules throughout the software. It will appear across, if you've got multiple company license, it will appear across all companies as long as you're not using the data path of reports option, which you will find if you go to settings along the top in your software, company preferences, and then within the reporting tab, you'll see a checkbox for that when it needs to be unticked for that to show across multiple companies. It also will apply to multiple users if you've got more than one user within your companies as well. But what I'm going to do now is I am actually just going to go straight into my software and I'm going to show you exactly how this works. So the first thing we're going to look at is we're going to find out where this batch reporting option is. So if we just go to Tools along the top, you're going to go all the way down and you'll see the batch reporting option in this list. Again, if you don't, it might be down to, like you say, you might not be on the standard or professional variant. Potentially also could be down to user permissions as well. So I'm just going to click this option. It's opened up on the other screen. Bear with me a moment there. So it's open batch reports. It does default open to favorites. I've not got anything saved in my favorites at the moment. So I'm just going to click the batch reports option down the left-hand side. Now, as default, you do have 3 batch reports already in your software. So you've got an example batch report, you've got your purchase order list and status, and your sales order list and status. Now I'm just going to quickly show you, I'm just going to run the sales order list for mine. So I'm just going to highlight it like a normal report. I'm going to click preview. And what this does, when it brings up the criteria, it combines the criteria based on the reports that are included within the batch. So it's got my sales order number, my customer reference, and my order date. Now I'm just going to leave mine as default as they are. I'm just going to click OK. And it's ran those reports for me. So you can see along the top, I've got 2 tabs. Now that's for the 2 reports that are included in that default batch. So I've got my sales order list and I've got my sales order status report. Now you can export these as well. So you've got the export option. Now, because we've run 2 reports, I've got a little drop down arrow. Now that's given me the option to export the current report. So the one I'm currently in, which is the sales order report, status report, sorry. And then you've got the option to export all as a single document. So if I was to export all as a single document, I'm just going to save this to my desktop as an example. And I'm just going to call it sales order reports and click save. If I then go and find that report, so you can see here, I've got my sales order report here. If I bring this across as well, you can see what it's done is it's exported this report. So you've got the sales order list, which was the first report. And then I've got the sales order list there. So it's going to export both of them in one document. So you can see at the very bottom, my last page is my status report. So I had the first lot of pages were my status, sorry, my list. This last one is my status report. So that's exported all in one PDF, the two types of reports. Now you can just export the one. So you could export the current report if you just want the one report. So that is just the one that is existing at the program. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to create a new batch. So we're going to go to new in the top left. And it's going to give us this window here. So first we're going to name our report. So let's just say you've run the year end, you're going to run all your management reports, you're going to run your aged creditors and your aged debtors. So we're just going to use that as an example. So we're just going to call these year end reports. You could do month end reports, customer reports. It's entirely up to you what you make in your batch. So let's just say I want to just put in the description what reports it's got in. So I'm going to put in it's got my trial balance, my balance sheet, my profit and loss, and my aged debtors and creditors. Once I've put in the name and the description, I'm then going to come into this option here. So I'm going to come into reports and I'm now going to select the reports that I want to use. So we're going to add in the management reports. So we're just going to go into nominal. And we're going to go into so let's just say we're going to add in trial balance. So you can either double click, or you can do is you can highlight it and click add to move it across. So we're now going to add in the profit and loss. And then I'm just going to use the add option this time. And then we're going to add the balance sheet as well. Once I've added in those management reports, I now want to add in my aged creditors. So I'm going to go down to suppliers. I'm going to go to aged creditors reports. And just for this example, I'm just going to use the aged creditors analysis summary. So I'll add that into the list. And the good feature about this as well is that you can actually, if you've got customized reports, you can also add those in as well. So I've got a customized aged debtors report. So I'm going to go into customer. Now your standard reports are going to be in your aged debtors report section. Because I've got a customized one, I'm going to go down to my customer reports, and I'm going to select my aged debtors analysis with logo. So I'm going to add that in as well. Now the order that you add them in here is the order that they're going to export in along the top. So the order that they're going to show in the tabs along the top when you preview the report. So at the minute, my previous trial balance is going to show first, then my profit and loss, then my balance sheet, then my aged creditors, and then my aged debtors. Let's just say I want my profit and loss to show first, so I can move that up the list. Same with my balance sheet. And let's just say I want to see my customers before I see my suppliers. So you can organize which order that they show in when you preview them as well. Once you're happy with what you've added to the list, you can then click Save. So then I'm going to ask you to name your file. So I'm going to call this Year End Reports. I'm going to click Save. So you can see now, I've now got year-end reports added to the list. Again, it's just put a gold star in there for me, so when I now come into my favorites, I'm going to see year-end reports in my favorites. To edit a batch, you can so you would highlight it, you can either right click and edit, or highlight it and click edit along the top. So you can come back in, you can add more reports, you can take remote reports out by highlighting the relevant one and click and remove. You can also as well, you can make a copy. So let's just say you've got this batch here and you want to create a new batch, including these reports, but you want to change the name and you want to add a lot more other reports to it, but you want to start with a basis. What you can do is, let's just say we're going to just change this to company overview, and I'm going to add in my nominal and nominal activity report as well. So then I'm going to come into nominal. I just want to say I want to add in my nominal activity. So we're going to come into my nominal activity reports. And I'm just going to add this one to the list as well. Now, instead of pressing save, there's an option for save as down the right-hand side here. So we click save as. It's now going to ask us to give a new file name. So I'm just going to put company overview. And I'm just going to click save. And then you'll see it then now appears in the list, and the description's changed, the name's changed as well. If you wanted to delete a batch report that you no longer need, again, right click, delete, or like it's highlighted, you've got the delete option along the top. And you would just click yes, and it would remove that report, and that would remove it across the board for multiple companies and for all users as well. But that's what we'll do now, is we'll run this batch report so you can see what it looks like. So I've got it highlighted. I'm going to click preview. You can see the criteria slightly changed because, again, it's combining the criteria of all the reports that are included within the batch. So you've got the period you want to run it for, which chart of accounts you want to run it for, the report date. You've got some tick boxes there for excluding later payments and including future transactions, customer reference, and supplier reference. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave my criteria as it is, and I'm just going to click OK. And it's ran all of those reports for me in one go. So you can see along the top, I had the order, I've got my profit and loss first, I've got my balance sheet, got my period trial balance, my age debtors, and my age creditors as well. And as you can see with my age debtors, I've got a logo on mine. That's what makes mine customized. Again, I'm going to show you again how to export. So you've got the export option here. You've got a little drop down. You've got the option just to export the current report, or let's just say we're going to export all as a single document again. I'm just going to save that to my desktop. I'm just going to show you this again. So then if we go to desktop and I run the year-end PDF, let's close that down. And as you can see, I've now got my profit and loss in one at the top. I scroll down, I've then got my balance sheet, period trial balance. That might be a bit longer, that one. My age debtors with my logo, and then my aged creditors at the very bottom. So it's really useful if you either want to just export the one report for yourself, or it might be someone wants to see all of the reports, you can put it into one document for them. So I'll just close that down. So that is the batch reporting feature. So if you were to run the reports for the year end, you would need to run 5 reports, which would mean navigating to 3 different modules just to run those reports. This option allows you to run them all in one place, export, save as one document or as multiple. You've also, like I say, you've got the option to print it, email it as well. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to pop back to my slides. Keep those questions coming. I can see we've got some coming in there. So I'll pop across, bear with me a moment. Just before I do move on, I just want to make sure that to keep your questions coming by clicking on the little panel, question panel on the right hand side with the question mark in the middle. So what I'm doing now, so I wait for those questions, I can see them some coming through. I can see Margaret's asked one there. Do you lose the links within the report when it's exported to PDF? Let's just double check that. So don't think it is drillable, Margaret, when you do export that. I think it is a flat document there, as you can see. If we look at the, yeah, so if you can see the balance sheet is a flat report there. So you do lose the links when you do export to PDF. Okay. So now I just want to discuss the upcoming topics that we've got in the next couple of weeks. So tomorrow we've got reconciling your aged reports at 2 p.m. So that's how you can learn to reconcile your aged reports at month end and year end, and if there is a difference, and how to look for that difference. We've also got customer corrections on Thursday. That's also at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So that's how to learn how to post corrections and refunds to customers' accounts and see the demo of the corrections option as well. And you can apply that to your suppliers as well if you are looking for that. We've also got month end coming up on the right hand side there. We've got the VAT return. We've got another quick learn that's with me next week for the suggest payments option for your suppliers. We've also got bank reconciliation and running your year end as well. Just want to briefly cover as well. I'm just going to open this up just in terms of registration. If you're on the help centre, by going to sage.co.uk/help, or you can go to sage.co.uk/webinars, and we've got the webinar option here. Now I just want to show you all of our sessions that we do have. I just want to make sure that you are aware that you can view previous recordings. So if you want to access the previous recordings from previous sessions, and then at the very bottom of this page, if we scroll all the way down past our upcoming sessions over the next couple of weeks, we've also got an option for suggesting a new topic. Now, only use this option if you've checked the previous recordings to make sure we haven't already covered this. You can then come in here, fill out a form to suggest a new topic for us to cover. It's really appreciated that we get your insight on that as well. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I just want to say a big thank you for coming to today's session. You can stay around for the next 6 minutes or so. Like I say, we're going to be here till past answering any questions. If you have any upcoming outstanding questions or new questions you've just thought of, do get them in here. Like I say, if you've got what you needed today and you want to leave today's session, you will receive an email in around an hour or so with links to both our webinar schedule and today's recording session. So you will get that in an email to you if you do need to refer back to that. Before you leave the session, you will see an exit survey on your screen. Be really appreciated if you could fill it out for us, as any feedback is appreciated. What I'm going to do now is we've got another 5 minutes left, so I'm going to put myself on mute and just see if there's any outstanding questions that I can support with. Just a little reminder, we've got 2 minutes left before I end the session there, that you can find the questions panel down the right-hand side with a little question mark in the middle of the speech bubble. That is where you submit your questions. So last couple of minutes, if you do have any questions, do get them in so we can try and get those answered for you. I can see a questions just come through there for Margaret. Will you be running this session again? There's no plans to do this at the moment, but you can revisit this recording. Like I say, you'll receive it in an email, a link to that, or you can visit our help centre to find the recording as well. Okay, so majority of the questions have been answered there. So I want to do is wrap the session up. I want to say thank you to my colleagues, Michael and Jackie, who've been on hand today. Been fantastic answering all the questions. And thank you to all for your participation. Just a reminder, we've got plenty of sessions over the next couple of weeks. We do have all our sessions running up to August on there now if you do want to get registered. But I want to say another thank you and take care.